The movie opens with a young Nat Love sitting down to dinner with his parents. Their peaceful evening is shattered when Rufus Buck and his gang invade their home. Without hesitation, Buck guns down Nat's parents in cold blood, leaving Nat traumatized. To ensure Nat remembers this moment forever, Buck carves a cross onto his forehead before leaving. Years pass, and Nat Love has grown into a hardened outlaw. The scars on his face and his heart drive him in his relentless quest for vengeance. His first act of retribution is to track down and kill one of Buck's former gang members. This act is not just about revenge, but a step closer to confronting Buck himself. Love's partners, sharpshooter Bill Pickett and the quick-draw expert Jim Beckworth, are also deeply entrenched in the outlaw life. They ambush a rival gang and steal their haul from a recent bank robbery. Among the stolen goods is $25,000, which the lone survivor of the ambush reveals belongs to Rufus Buck. Determined to confront Buck, Nat travels to meet his former lover, Mary Fields, who runs a successful chain of saloons. As they reconnect, Pickett arrives with the news of their latest heist, informing Nat that the money they stole is tied to Buck. This revelation sets the stage for a showdown. Meanwhile, Buck's gang, led by the ruthless Trudy Smith and the lethal Cherokee Bill, orchestrates a daring ambush on a train. The train is transporting Buck under the guard of corrupt soldiers. Trudy and Cherokee Bill overpower the soldiers, who under duress release Buck. However, Buck, ever the ruthless leader, orders the execution of all the soldiers except the youngest, making a chilling statement about mercy and survival. Upon regaining his freedom, Buck returns to his home in Redwood, where Trudy runs a saloon. Redwood has been under the dubious leadership of Buck's former associate, Wiley Esco. Esco, left in charge by Buck, has exploited his position for personal gain at the expense of the townspeople. In a brutal display of power, Buck beats Esco and banishes him, reclaiming his authority over the town. Gathering the townspeople, Buck delivers an ultimatum: they must raise $50,000 to save their town. When one man objects, Buck kills him, demonstrating that dissent will not be tolerated. Despite their efforts, it becomes clear that the townspeople cannot raise the full amount. This moment highlights Buck's tyrannical grip on Redwood and his willingness to resort to extreme measures. Back in Mary's saloon, Marshal Bass Reeves arrives to arrest Nat Love. The arrest is a ruse, a carefully orchestrated plan by Reeves and Love to hunt down Buck without involving Love's gang. Reeves is furious that Buck has been pardoned and recognizes Nat's thirst for revenge. However, Nat's gang, suspecting something is amiss, follows them, determined to be part of the mission. The group encounters the exiled Wiley Esco, who confirms that Buck has indeed returned to Redwood. Mary Fields, ever brave and resourceful, volunteers to scout Redwood under the pretense of wanting to buy Trudy's saloon. Before she departs, Nat proposes to her, but she turns him down, perhaps fearing the uncertain future they face. Mary's attempt to infiltrate Redwood goes awry when Trudy captures and beats her. Trudy reveals her plan to hold Mary hostage for a day before killing her, unless someone comes to rescue her. Nat and his gang arrive that night, but Trudy demands that Nat join Mary in captivity. Nat complies, and while he is beaten, Buck issues an ultimatum to secure Mary's release. Nat must rob a bank in Marysville, a white town, and deliver the money to Buck. With Cuffy's help, Nat successfully robs the bank without killing anyone and escapes with the money. However, he and Reeves are convinced that Buck will not release Mary, even if they hand over the money. To level the playing field, Esco supplies them with a cart full of guns and dynamite. The final showdown is set. Love and his gang enter Redwood with 2 carts of money, one of which is a decoy rigged with dynamite. The decoy is destroyed, killing some of Buck's henchmen, but Love manages to hand over the real money. As he tries to leave, Cherokee Bill stops him. Beckworth challenges Cherokee Bill to a quick draw contest but is tragically killed while counting down, cementing Bill's reputation as a dishonorable shooter. A massive gunfight ensues. Pickett, Cuffy, Reeves, and Love take on Buck's gang, resulting in the deaths of many of Buck's men and the destruction of the money in a second explosion. Esco infiltrates Buck's house with more dynamite, but Buck kills him. During the chaos, Fields is freed by Cuffy and engages in a fierce hand-to-hand fight with Trudy, ultimately defeating her. The battle takes its toll. Pickett and Love are wounded, and as the dust settles, Pickett is shot in the back by Cherokee Bill. Cuffy avenges him, killing Bill in a swift confrontation. The town, now in ruins, bears witness to the bloody struggle for power and revenge. Nat enters Buck's house for the final confrontation. Buck, however, is unarmed and unwilling to fight. Instead, he recounts his own tragic past. His outlaw father, abusive and cruel, killed his mother and abandoned him at 10 years old. Buck eventually hunted down his father, only to discover that he had changed his ways and his name. In a shocking revelation, Buck tells Nat that his father was also Nat's father, making them half-brothers. Buck's ultimate revenge was not just killing their father, but driving Nat into the same life of violence and vengeance, marking him with a scar to ensure recognition. Faced with this revelation, Nat shoots Buck dead, ending their twisted familial feud. The aftermath is somber. Nat and his companions bury Pickett and Beckworth, marking another grave with Nat Love's name to fake his death. Reeves agrees to report Nat as dead, and Cuffy joins him in law enforcement. As the survivors move on, Mary and Nat ride off together, while Trudy Smith, having survived the ordeal, watches from a distance, hinting at unresolved scores. The Harder They Fall is a tale of revenge, betrayal, and the brutal cycles of violence that shape the lives of those entrenched in the outlaw world. Through its vivid characters and intense confrontations, the film paints a grim portrait of justice and retribution in the Old West.